Go on, Wobbs.
Torq Moto episode
We don't know.
7,000.
We're back. Guess who's back after a bit of hiatus, Wobbs?
It's been a while, kid. We've been busy.
We have. I know at this point we always ask people to get the violins out and all that, but we're in the industry. It's been a tough old run over Christmas and January, particularly for you.
No, you've been doing arena cross, and I know.
Well, I know, but
that base
just
works you like a.
I know, but I just got to stand there and chat.
Yeah,
you've got to order bits of metal and
that is
turn
technical.
them into nuts and bolts. And
no, it is technical. The teams for the winter for us. You careful what you wish for because the teams are on you. And it's like, it's all well and good. Yeah, we got HRC, we got factory KTM, we got factory Yamaha. But they're quite demanding.
Yeah.
They want what they want. They want it now. And you're like, and it's a lot of stuff, which is great. But we signed NDA, so I can't go into it. But it is stressful is a good word to say, I think.
So to our 4 loyal fans, I think we've got a few more than that.
When have you been? Must be 2 months.
No, in the 2 months. We've been away a long time. We've been away a long
November
time.
we last filmed.
Yeah, I know. So, Christmas gets in the way, doesn't it? Of a good story and all that.
We had a good time at Christmas, kid.
But we needed the break. Hopefully you've missed us. We're back now. Hopefully we're going to run on right through to Christmas this year and crack on. I know that seems miles away.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
But we're back. Torq Moto's back. And our first guest in the new year, Mr. Tom Fuller.
Tom Fuller.
All right, boys.
Image design
is in
custom.
the house. We got history with Tom.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
mean
of-
that we fell out with him.
No, there's a lot of history with Tom.
Not beef then. Yeah.
No, to my knowledge, unless you...
No.
Yeah, hold on.
Unless you hold a grudge.
I'm all groovy. Don't worry.
This could be a confessional here, couldn't it? This could be a confessional. Tom, yeah.
You go up to introduce Tom. What did he do?
Well, I don't know what he does really.
He's a little bit behind the
he floats
shadows
around,
a little bit,
doesn't
isn't he? He's a little bit of a
Stealth.
mysterious character. You see him at the races, you're like, what's he doing here?
Like quite a few people in the industry, starting to get that CV together where it kind of like ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't it?
It's good reading.
CV's looking good.
It is.
Good reading.
Yeah.
Good for
So-
you, kid. Good for you.
So let's start at the very start because actually I don't know how you got into the sport actually. So I'd like to know that.
Probably like a lot of people, a lot of racers, through the old man. Grew up in a field, pretty much. Dad was racing with the boys.
Oh, okay, cool.
And yeah, back in the 70s.
Like you were from down south somewhere.
Down south, yeah. So from Camberley,
Oh,
Home
wow.
of motocross.
Home
First
of the
ever
old
race,
Dean.
I believe.
the old man would take me up to see Big DT up at the Old Dean.
Oh, okay.
Thorpe, so that was awesome to see that bike and Thorpe, hero, obviously, to me as a kid.
To a generation of us.
Yeah, but really just growing up, dad racing, and then getting into it. And then we used to go and race BMXs in between dad not racing, during the winter usually.
Cool.
So my brother and I would go and do BMX racing down at Shoreham. And then I think it was 10, 11, came down Christmas Day, KX80 there.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice touch.
Action man I got.
Yeah.
Do you have one each?
No.
Oh,
No.
Sharing.
Sharing.
Yeah, we shared that.
Oh.
And then we got, and then
Did that
Toby-
cause fights between you and Toby?
Yeah, it was horrific.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
He's
And then-
older than you though, Toby,
Yeah,
isn't
Toby's 3 years older than me.
he? So did he surely he pulled rank on that?
No, he's smaller than me, so
Oh,
I got
he
the
was,
full
yeah.
rank. Yeah, and then we got YZ 80 as well. So one had a YZ, one had a Kawasaki, and that was it. And then we went racing, did like Reading Schoolboy, and then just went on from there really.
Did your old man race then, or did he just have an interest in bikes?
No, he raced. Yeah, he raced, and he was racing. I raced him many times, and don't quote me on this because I'm still looking for the actual facts. But I believe that in a British four-stroke championship, we are the only father and son that scored British Championship points in a British Championship in the same race.
Well, that's a fact. We need to. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody will let you know if that's right or wrong. Believe me.
I'm sure they will.
There's some
But
experts out in the internet land. Believe me.
I'm rolling with it at the moment. I think
Yeah,
I was
well,
at
mate, if
Rusper.
that's it, well, that's what we're saying. Somebody can prove us wrong.
Christ. So how old was your old man when that happened then? And how old were you?
I would have been 20. Dad would have been 45.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, 45, 50.
Who beat who?
I lapped him.
Oh God, I bet that's a quite old Christmas dinner.
Yeah, but no, he was just a weekend kind of guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a fast racer. I think it pissed down.
Yeah.
People crashing out and not finishing,
Don't
bikes
matter,
failing.
don't matter. Don't
he
say that
rocked
on
in
the-
for 20th or whatever it was.
It don't
got
say
1
that on
point.
the results, does it?
No.
No asterisk next to your name, is there?
No, not at all. But you was in. I found this out after Wembley Arena Cross just recently. Obviously, we was all in the bar.
Really?
Well, he can't. He was on. I think part one of his stag do, Tom was.
Yeah, it's part one.
Was it part one?
Yeah.
He was doing all right, considering that you'd been drinking all day.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he's a bit vague. Can't remember this. But so what I'm going to bring up is there's a little collective of you, and I want you to explain this, of people that are in motocross. You're all friends.
Camberley massive.
But this is the thing. Like, it wasn't necessarily motocross that connected you. You all... Explain your little Rat Pack group, who they are.
There's the Smythes for a start.
Yeah, you know, and how all that came about.
Matt Bates is one of your crew.
Well, Batesy, like, you know, he lived locally to me. So he lived in Crowthorne, I lived in Sandhurst. And...
They sound posh.
Well...
Hey, so don't they sound posh?
Yeah, Sandhurst.
It sounds posh.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll get on to the, you know, what I'm doing now career-wise.
Yeah.
But Dickie Dye used to train Thorpe up the road. So that was in Bagshot. And we went training. First day I met, like, Thorpe and Dickie Dye, Stacey Harman, Logger, Dean Logsdale. And we were just training. So it was like Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that's kind of where I met the pack. And Matt Bates was training as well. And then a couple of his mates, Bryn, little Welsh Bryn, the least Welsh person I know, Bryn Llewellyn Price. He's never been in Wales. Like, I swear down, unless we went to Cardiff Supercross.
He doesn't sound very Welsh,
he doesn't sound Welsh. Anyway, so that's kind of, and it's just all formed from there, really.
Yeah.
Training, you know, real good time. Tim Elverson as well. He was in the gang. Technical Tim. And so that's
I think Matt said to me there was a couple that they were at school together, but they didn't know they raced motocross until they actually met at a race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
like,
was
hold on,
Bryn,
I go to school with you. What are you doing here? Like, I race bikes. Well, you never said.
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
Paul Roberts and Bryn. So that's our little clan. And then I've got my mate Ian, who used to be part of my business and best mates at school, got into loads of trouble like you do when you're like. And so Ian McCaig. So yeah, that's our little Rat Pack.
So growing up racing motocross, you know, what was the ambition? Did you ever believe that, like a lot of us do, you go, right, I'm going to do this. This is a bit of me.
Yeah.
No, you was just the fun of it.
It was just complete fun.
Trouble is, you're there with Thorpe.
Well, no, this is it. I was schoolboy motocross. I was shit. Like I was mid packer.
Glad he said that. I didn't want to pull him up on it.
I didn't say.
No, I didn't really do much. I didn't do much schoolboy.
Yeah.
And then I started to train. Then I started, go to the, training with Dickie Dye. And then all of a sudden, we were going out riding a little bit more. Stacey was always pretty good at the schoolboy and he came through and all the rest of it.
All starts coming just a little bit easier for some reason.
It does when you're training your arse off.
Yeah.
And then you're training with the boys. And it was proper training. We all know how hard, Thorpe trained.
Yeah.
And you're on that same programme. And then all of a sudden, you're going racing at the weekend and the last 10 minutes of the moto, you start picking people off and you start getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that was it. So, and then I just became a little bit quicker when I came into the adults on a 4-stroke. My dad saved.
So how come you on a 4-stroke? Let's go. Like they weren't about, were they? You were. It was. What year was this?
87.
No 4-strokes in 87, right?
Well, there was those big old. I think Husky were doing them. I seem to remember Perry Leask around that time.
That's what we do with the VMXDN. August
yeah,
Bank
a few people had them, didn't they?
But what we allow them in the Evo Plus, I think it's called, up to 96 because they're cool then. They were
they were
once they get to like the CIFs and the
they were
YZFs,
horrific.
I got an issue.
Horrific things. Mileman.
They were bulky, weren't they?
It was massive. Like Mileman hated 2-strokes.
Did he?
He bought two 490 Makos, thinking that was a good idea.
Oh no, well fair enough, Makos
on the Wednesday. Rode them at the weekend, sold them on the Monday, and a T-shirt made. I will never ride a 2-stroke again.
Oh.
I came off a YZ125. He had saved me his 1987 510 at the time, so I got onto that.
So that's
16 years old, 8 stone, dripping wet on that piece of shit.
Exactly, that's like Bentley.
It's horrific.
It cannot be. I mean, you've got
racing the limousine.
You've got some length. You've got some legs on you to pick it up.
That's why I had to do the training, just to hang on to that bloody thing. And I rode 4-strokes all the way through.
I think I can remember first. I don't think I met you first seeing you. No, I don't think I spoke to you, and it was at Matcham's because obviously that was open at the time, and a lot of people used to go there practicing in the week. And I can remember I'm sure you were there, you and your brother and a few others, and because I can remember at the time thinking, oh, those things are just so noisy. Yeah, I was a bit younger. It's just like, oh god, they're just so noisy, aren't they? Like you can get up behind them and it rattles your ears.
You hear the whole track.
Yeah,
you hear every gear change.
Yeah.
All 3 gear changes you made, I could hear it.
I don't know anything different. Never rode 2 strokes apart from up until I jumped on that 510.
Never.
I mean, back then, I remember there was a couple of them. Can't remember the brand name, but they didn't even bother with the silencers. You know because they made no differences at all. It was just straight out.
Yeah, but I loved them. I had good times, and then they started to get a little bit better. You know, the Huskies, and they started coming.
Yeah, no,
through.
they were actually the Husserbergs and whatever.
Yeah, the Huserbergs were having
awful looking, but they actually worked well.
Yeah, the Huskies. I think at the time they were the ones to have.
They were tall, weren't they,
definitely.
And Mike Carter, he was local to me as well.
Oh, okay.
Bracknell, and he always, he supported me, and then we started getting pretty good, and then they put some more support into me and Stace.
That was about the time though when they were starting to make a bit of the 4-stroke championship, British Championship kind of came back round, the MR thump across it.
Yeah.
It became a bit of started to become a thing, didn't it? Like a niche thing. It was all of a sudden
different.
it was a little bit like, oh, I'm going to go and do that championship because it's something a bit different. And the numbers were bloody good.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, in the old days, it was like the Haynes 4-stroke with Steve Howell, Dave Thomasick, all those guys. So Dad used to race all of those.
Yeah.
And then the bikes started getting a little bit lighter. I say light, still 3 tons, but they were starting to get a little bit lighter. And then they were getting good. And then you got the likes of Perry Leask. He was teammate.
Well, Perry was fast.
Teammates me and Stace. And Perry could still ride.
Oh, yeah.
And still can probably
I'm sure
to this
now,
day. And then 4-strokes started to become popular. People were jumping on
But it was
them.
cool that there was a whole new series. And we'll talk about this at a later date. But I mean, do you think that's the way the electric stuff needs to go now? Have their own series rather than trying to integrate? Is there a market for it if they were to race them things now? You were part of a evolution that didn't really go away. Like the 4-strokes, all the old British stuff stopped.
Yeah.
Japanese come in 2-strokes, and you carried on with the 4-strokes. But it's like the electric stuff now. I don't know. Is the momentum still there? I mean, Stark guys.
You've seen enough. You've well travelled. It's starting to build a bit. I think there's definitely more Starks out there.
All I know is
now, and other electric bikes.
Everyone that you speak to, all the interviews, the podcasts that you watch, everyone who jumps on the Stark,
great, isn't it?
Loves it.
They love it. I know.
Should there be a different class? Probably. It's hard to really.
But it's no different. It's
different
not that much different. We'll go into this later, I'm sure. It's not that much different from when the good 4-strokes came back. Like a YZF 250 against a YZ 125.
Yeah. Chalk and cheese.
Yeah, you were going to get beat, and it's just, as long as you install it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing, stalling.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've gutted I didn't have is like an electric start.
It's just like
the
that
amount
thing.
of times I'd try and wank the thing over. It's just all the old man was running over trying to help me.
Mate, I remember one time we were in Anaheim and Fonseca was leading for A1 on the 4-stroke. Nobody'd seen one before. He was away. And he stalled it just in front of us, and we're just watching him getting more and more fluff, panicking, kicking it, and he just to watch the life drain out of him. We all just stood there giving it a massive shame
because they wouldn't back then.
They would not start when they were carburetor. They were bad news.
So hot.
They were hot. They wouldn't like it.
Pain in the ass.
And you had to get it to top dead centre, and you could see him doing the right stuff. At first, he was plodding away in a panic, but it was like, and he just pushed it off the track in the end.
Yeah,
made you a better rider though. Like you say, because you want big. Oh, yeah, you was small on a big bike.
Yeah, I was tiny on that thing.
Yeah, like you and Toby. So probably made a more precise rider thinking, shit, I don't want to stall this. To be honest, that was way before even I got on one.
Yeah.
And then, when Yamaha brought out the 250, that's when I first started riding them for Dixon that year. And even then they start better. But I was even in my mind like, I don't want to stall this bloody thing. I haven't got the energy for that.
Well, that was when it all started to liven up in the 4-strokes. Is when it was Yam brought out that 400.
And it was that the end of like the Haynes kind of. It stopped being a bit niche and it started to become mainstream.
Yeah, the Haynes. I remember doing Haynes actually because I did end up with a 426. I remember doing the Haynes with Greg Hansen was there. A lot of the top boys there, Smivies and stuff like that. So that was when the 4-stroke scene, complete in my eyes, changed. When that 400 came out, 426, and then Honda had a go at it as well.
They're mainstream then.
And all of a sudden, the Huskies were still a Husky, and they were just
they just leapfrogged flogged them, didn't they? They
Yeah.
just literally went,
Yeah.
took the
What was it, Bartolini's one? That
Yeah.
is trick as fuck.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, they
You know,
are.
that was at Fox Hills last year.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
I mean, what a piece of kit that is.
Yeah,
Still
when
looks
you-
mega now.
all
Doesn't
that
it?
does.
billet cases and all that stuff. I mean,
Sexy,
I wouldn't
man.
want to work on it, but the thing looked cool.
Yeah.
And the whole rhetoric on it, about how it was all about the emission laws in California, and everybody's got to jump
It
on
was
the
because
four-stroke.
at the time they
No,
were
I get
banning
that, but-
two-strokes. That you
Yeah.
can't buy a two-stroke road bike in America.
No.
In California.
Mm.
And all the testing's done in California for the whole world.
Yeah.
So whatever California want, that's what
Yeah.
we're all getting, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
It was a big shift, wasn't it? All of a sudden, now we're back.
but then
and
at the
now-
time, the regulations, they were shutting down tracks and this and that, and it didn't happen. But they stopped them being road bikes. There's
Isn't it weird, though?
No
It's like
two-stroke road
and now
bike.
we're electric and two-strokes making a resurgence.
Yeah.
two-strokes.
It's all
Kawasaki
the way
now
around.
announcing
But the
that
way the Japanese will go, in my experience of dealing with Japanese, they'll never say, "Oh, we're going to revert back to what we." No. The line will be, technology's moved on, so now we can make a two-stroke that's got this emissions.
Yeah.
And that's why we're remaking it, not because we should never have stopped.
Yeah, of course.
That's not what they'll say. It's not the way it works. Same with Honda with the air fork. They tried the air fork, never really worked. Apparently, technology had moved on. We can go back to spring now.
It's quite how a manufacturer's though making a conscious decision whether they're going to go two-stroke or electric, because Kawasaki have just announced that.
I'm a bit disappointed,
Like, they're doing
almost,
two-strokes.
that there's less
Or they might
development on the electric stuff.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm
where's
saying.
the KCM electric bike? Where's the Yam?
Well,
these
this
big
is the thing,
manufacturers,
right?
they've got the technology.
So Kawasaki have announced they're, hopefully, allegedly, whatever, bringing out a two-stroke.
we know what it's
Honda
gonna
have
be?
still said
Do
they're
we know whether it's
predominantly.
going to be a fuel injected 125?
I don't know, but they're
Not
saying that
supposed to
it's
know
going to
that.
be a for and then Honda have not gone down the route of a two-stroke because they've for ages said they're a four-stroke company, but gone down the
Oh, the
electric.
electric route.
So it's like choosing. Yeah, I know Yamaha.
Well, there's talk of them racing that British Championship this year, isn't there?
Yeah, there is talk. Whether that happened or not,
There's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
more
What,
to
a
racing.
Honda or Start?
Yeah, there's a lot
Honda.
more. There's a lot
it?
more to them four-strokes. The electric stuff at the normal races that I didn't realise until we do our own events for MXD and Fox at August Bank Holiday. With the health and safety,
Never
like
knew
with
about
the
that one.
fires and all.
Yeah.
Like if an electric bike catches fire, you can't physically put it out. It's just going to have to burn out, and it's just.
I mean,
there is a lot of rules.
Yeah, the mega thing about the electrics is, I mean, I'm going to put it out there. I never want to see an electric race and A1 because it's never.
But what will
gonna be the
happen
same.
is,
but there are
somebody's going to race one and they're going to win, and
No, but
they're
it will
all
go,
going to
but-
go.
But that day, though, every
I
moto
know.
guy is just going to go. What
But
the
everybody
fuck?
says about the noise. I don't like the sound of a four-stroke. Two strokes.
We're knocking on.
I know, but you're like, who wants to hear that shit?
Imagine hearing
Terrible
nothing. Imagine
fucking-
hearing the chain rattle about. But they
I
are
just turn
mega.
the music up, man.
They are mega. Where you can just you can go and ride them. you
Yeah,
can go and
no.
That is
literally
true.
ride them in that field.
But all the problems that the four-stroke have brought to the industry, which is the noise and the cost, because like a new bike now, I think the new Kawasaki 450. Did I see? It's like $14,000, like the good one. You're like, how much? What happened to $3 or $4 grand bikes?
it's ridiculous.
Those days gone.
I know, but it pushes so many people out of the sport,
It does.
and the noise,
Yeah.
and like these, like we're in the business of restoring two strokes. Is anybody going to restore a four stroke? It was, it's like in cars. People are restoring Camaros and whatever. You think they'll be restoring Teslas in 30 years? I don't think so.
You never know.
I can't imagine it. Can you?
But you say a dirt bike's expensive. Fucking mountain bikes.
Oh.
You know how expensive they are. They've not even got an engine
Nothing.
in there.
You've got a pedal. You've still got a thing.
Ridiculous.
Great sales pitch on motocross there, Tom. Keep it rolling.
Exactly.
No, but it is for value for money. That it is ridiculous, retarded.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at motorbikes, what you get for a road bike price and a motorbike price was a lot more shit on a road bike. Yet it's the same price. So how can that be?
I don't know. We need to get
Don't
somebody
get
in that
involved.
can answer that question.
It's definitely not me.
No,
No.
it's not.
Anyway, I think we've gone on a tangent.
No, not at all.
No.
We're
gone back
We're
to
talking about four
The
strokes.
four stroke. And the four stroke had
We were
its own
talking
series,
about his. Yeah. So how
which
did
was
you?
a big series.
How did you get on in that?
Yeah, good. My best year was finished third
Oh,
in the British Championship. So
I remember you and Stacey
yeah, me and Stace.
all had the same gear and all that stuff.
Yeah, we were kind of like in. Do you know what? I'm gonna.
You were like Bros.
Yeah. Or what's that fucking other group?
I'm not sure
is
about
it?
that.
Fucking
I was
MD.
gonna say-
Vanilli.
I was
Yeah.
actually going to say they were probably a little bit ahead of their time and had that whole AMA vibe going on, but
No,
you
but
went.
we
You
were
went to
like
another.
literally painted helmets.
Yeah,
same
Yeah,
Yeah,
colour
no,
helmet,
it was a good show.
O'Neill gear.
Yeah.
Like together teammates.
Same stuff,
and no
yeah.
one was doing that.
No.
People
it was,
weren't doing that. It looked trick.
did look trick.
It looked well cool. And
So-
so I had a third in
Yeah.
that year. That was my best year. I was the only one that beat Leesky that year at Frome. So he won every other round.
Did he?
And I won that one. So that was good.
Nice.
Top of the box.
Good track, that.
Loved Frome.
Oh, yeah,
That was
Frome
just
was
good
nice.
round.
Proper
Just-
technical.
Yeah, me and
Proper
Was it
technical
was it
stuff.
Finbar
250
as well. Finbar
250
Neesley.
grand per 88,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Heroin on the Yam.
Yeah, and then Watley won.
Watley. I was
won
recording
one
that
race,
day.
but Van der Berg won it overall.
Yeah.
I got loads of video film from Watley
Yeah.
when he just whole shot and fucked off in
Yeah.
that mud.
Mud.
So that was
Yeah.
wicked. So yeah, love Frome. And then what happened after that? You know, the 400s, 426s start coming along. Neil Shepherd start bouncing in, and a few of the boys. These boys are doing Grand Prix,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't at that level. You know, I was going to work on Monday morning. These boys are going practicing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of had my day. You know, I hung it out for a little bit longer and still did all
No,
right.
but you did.
But
you
the
did
boys,
well. But
there
before
was
they
some-
went mainstream,
there was
like,
Grand Prix riders in there. You know,
yeah,
It's like-
that takes the edge
even-
right off it.
Even Perry was having to fucking bust
Yeah.
his balls to keep up with the 400s with a Grand Prix rider on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
It
but then
became a thing.
then they went mainstream and they were allowed, you know, like you're allowed a 450 in the 250 class.
Yeah.
It's not fair, is it?
No.
More importantly, was your brother racing at that time?
No, Toby.
Toby was taking pictures at that
Yeah,
time.
he was
wasn't
working
He'd
for a
stopped
dirt
right.
bike rider.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
So Toby, he broke his leg at Popham when he was 14.
He did have a bad one, didn't he?
He had snapped his femur, and he never recovered from that. He wasn't a quick rider. We both weren't quick riders, and he just wasn't into it. He was like, I'm all right, actually. I'll just watch my brother.
Yeah.
Good photographer.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
And an eye. I'll give him
Yeah.
that.
So what about the creative side of the family? Because you like that obviously comes from somewhere. Because you know photography, you also fell into that. But then the design element. Whose idea was it to like set up a team with you and Stacey and go for that kind of
Team
look and feel? Was it yours or was it Stacey's?
It was mine.
Yeah.
Because I was painting the crash helmets and stuff.
You're already doing it at that point.
Yeah,
were you?
yeah. I started when I was 15. I started painting crash
TF Designs.
TRF.
TRF.
TRF Designs. Yeah, still got an old business card. So it was always the story is that I was always into my photography and art. So
Yeah,
I was
that's
only
what I'm saying.
good
There
at
was a
art at
creative.
school.
You and Toby were both.
Shit at everything. I hated school.
Right.
School's the best day of your life. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
Fucking hate school.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait to get out.
Yeah.
And so I was always artistic. I was good at sport, and I liked photography.
artistic or autistic?
Both. And granddad,
Bit of the tism.
it was my
Join the club, kid.
it was my granddad. He said, "Right, I'll get you a dark room." There was no digital back then.
No.
Yeah. Or I'll get you an airbrush. I'm like, fucking hell, what do we do? Went for the airbrush. But always kept my hand in the photography. Used to go like take pictures at the weekend, Dad, and then getting developed, sell pictures to, the next week to
Yeah.
his mates and stuff. So I had a little side hustle there, but picked up an airbrush and then that was it. Off we went. Loads of helmets up. Didn't know what I was doing. No YouTube. No YouTube back then.
Nobody teaching you. You
Had to
just
go
teach
to the library to find a book on custom painting. Never going to happen. It's like,
No.
so you learn the hard
Kids
way.
of today don't know how lucky they got.
Of course they don't. Well, that's a whole episode talking about that,
Yeah.
or pretty much. So we'll talk about that a little bit further down the line. But the photography then, because you did keep an eye on with that, and that inevitably led to our 3 paths crossing.
Yeah.
More you two first.
First off, yeah, well, that's when we started Moto Magazine. Like
Yeah.
I was approached by 4130, who was Tim March was there. It was a BMX skateboard mountain bike magazine, and they wanted to do a motocross magazine. And basically, they wanted the look of those magazines. So we had a meeting, and they're like, we don't want to use traditional photographers. So, you got your Ray Archers and your Alex Hodgkinsons, and they're doing everything in DBR and everything in Trials Motocross, and we wanted it to look different. So the printers, they wanted us to use Paul Bliss, who was a fashion photographer, and then you badgered me to get in. And I'm like, no offense. No, you wanted in. And I'm like, I don't know who you are, kid. I don't know what you've done.
Absolutely.
And then
look at that.
Very convenient. I don't know if our production team, as good as they are, actually put that
What is it?
there to show it. This is obviously an issue of
An
Moto.
issue of our magazine.
And I don't know if that's by chance, but I've opened it up, look, and that was which we were all heavily involved with. This one,
That was
the Isle of
I
Wight.
think that was maybe. I want to
So-
say that was probably my most fun race I've ever been to.
Yeah. So, but this I've just opened up, and all these pictures here, look, by Tom
Tom
Fuller,
Fuller. But then
and Justin Day.
No,
there
like,
you go. So
we give you
they're
an
all Tom's pictures there. I noticed there's quite a few on the showgirl strip tent.
Yeah, so those are the strip tent.
But then that's when you started working with us, and all of a sudden you were part of the crew, and there was...
Well, you invited me out to America, said, can we do some bits out there? That's the first time I met you. Staying in a camper, staying in the Smith truck.
Oh, I did. I remember.
And
that,
we went and did the scene. Went and did the California bit for probably guts of a month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And
was that 03?
Yeah, maybe 02, maybe
02, 03?
Chad Reed, 22.
Sorry, Tom. I've just been distracted by some of these pictures.
What
You
we
seem
got?
to get some of the showgirls to on the that
Reading
one
them
now.
on, man. You should be reading Razzle, man.
Anyway, yeah.
It's still a thing.
I don't know. Anyway,
Let's not go down that road.
yeah. So you there you are.
So we got you on board, and like you had the eye, and you know a lot of black and white moody stuff.
Yeah.
And just different shots. We didn't want the normal.
Definitely had an eye for it, and that suited me. That magazine was perfect for me.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, some of the articles are questionable because I can't spell. So there's fucking
Oh no, we're all the same.
mistakes.
Well, when they came to me and they said we want you to be editor, I'm like, I ain't got O level in English. I can't. They're like, we don't need any of that. We'll do that. They
Yeah.
said we need you to get us in places. I'm like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's easy.
They
And
were
so
mega times. They were.
They
Like,
were really good.
we would
Looking
always-
back, it felt like hard work, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it was fun times, wasn't it?
It
And
was.
It wasn't long before you were on board as assistant
Yeah,
editor.
so that same time when Tim spoke to you, he spoke to me and he said about putting that whole collective together. I couldn't join.
No, you were busy.
Because I was busy as part of the organising team of actually putting the GP on and that RTT Honda team.
Debacle.
But
Is
I
that the
did
right
say
word
to
for
Tim,
that?
no, I did say to Tim, like, look, just if you can just give me, like, hold on to that thought because I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
And if you can give me 8 months and we get that out of the way.
But we did
then
get a good reaction from it. Everybody liked it. I mean, I don't think it sold in massive numbers, but it was a nice...
I'd like to. I
I'm
mean, we
proud of
still
it.
get well.
I'm
Hence what
proud
we're
of
doing
it.
now.
I'm proud of what we did. I think we did a good job. I think it was mega,
Very proud.
You know, and if somebody's got a different opinion, you go off.
We still get we still get people coming up
I think
talking
was
about
ace.
it.
I think it was ace. It still looks good now, and that goes to show that, you know,
Yeah.
22 years on, it don't look out of date now.
It's still a mega magazine now.
Yeah,
Right,
it
awesome.
felt good in your hands. There's plenty of, you know, some of them pictures. I remember. Let's look at that picture there. I remember that Ryan Hughes picture was at Southwick, and we pulled him off the race, and Blissy's like, I don't want him to wash his face or anything. I'm like, oh, he'll do what he wants to do, kid. He don't like being told what to do. But
he did
you
it.
know, he did it, and that was
There it
that
is,
was
the
taken.
picture.
Blissy set up a backdrop on the back of the KTM semi with a big sheet of white paper. He came off the bike, took his shirt off, and had his picture took. Credit to him. He didn't want to.
Blissy was good.
Who was your
Blissy was funny.
obviously in that
He looked like Jarvis Cocker. You'd never think.
Yeah. Who was your creative sort of go to? Who would obviously as a rider, we've all got somebody that we look up to as a rider.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like art and obviously spraying crash helmets, photography, was there anybody in particular you thought, right, that's the kind of style I want to go down? Or do you just have to find your own way? What
No,
was the
piece of piss, this one. Troy Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Troy
wouldn't
Lee.
you?
It's just always
Always coming up with something new, that boy, isn't he?
still coming up with something new. So then back in the day, he's doing the, you know, Wardy, Lachine helmets, all that stuff. I used to look at all that stuff in motocross action. That's what got me into
Mate,
it.
we all did.
Was that
We all-
helmet article with all those helmets on
Yeah.
there, and I'm like, I need to be doing this. This is
That
my
so
dream
cool.
job.
You can still go to Troy Lee's now and look at them old helmets and think, that's really cool. It's
Whenever
just
I'm
really
over in
nice.
Cali, I shoot and see Troy.
It's like a homage.
It's yeah. So it's always been.
What's he
Troy
like
Lee.
as a bloke? 'Cause I mean, I've said hello to him. I don't know him.
Yeah, he's dude. Yeah,
See?
he's all right.
I know
Like-
Mitch really well, and him and their pals, but I don't know Troy.
Yeah, he likes party.
Parties. Who doesn't like a party? That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Remember
Moto
them?
parties.
Do you remember
Do
that?
you know,
Moto
if it wasn't
parties.
for the magazine, and I don't just mean I mean Moto Magazine parties.
Ooh.
Can we?
Dirt
can
bike
we
show.
Yeah. Can we?
Yeah, that was out of control, wasn't it?
Well,
Funny.
Which was where was the one where we all got thrown out
Stoneleigh.
because the
Stoneleigh.
urinals got ripped off the wall?
Stoneleigh.
Stoneleigh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to stop either. They were making us stop, and I'm like, they want us to leave, and that's just
We
made it
ended
work.
up back in a hotel room.
I
Yeah,
quite
we
liked
kept
it at
going.
that point because although we were obviously part of we obviously were Moto Magazine. Yes,
We
for
weren't
some
part of
reason,
the establishment, were
yeah,
we?
no. What I felt like at that point is like actually that's an admin. Somebody else's. Tim will handle that. It's like hand the responsibility over to the actual owners for any damage. 4130.
Yeah.
We're a bit like rock star. at
We
that point.
were rock stars. In fairness, and I don't think I think that's the most fun. Them times were, because
But they were
my
a
main
thing.
job was driving around all the races in the Smith truck. So going
Yeah.
through all that stuff, working with Denny Stevenson.
Good God.
Oof, that's a whole nother episode.
The-
And then doing the magazine and then getting access to everywhere. And
It was full access, wasn't it?
It was,
cool.
yeah,
Oh.
it's really cool, wasn't it? Like that.
yeah,
that was
we
the
could
point.
get in. And I mean, like, I could get you in anywhere, really.
Yeah.
It was mental. Like, straight in the Suzuki truck with Ricky, no problem.
Yeah, I remember going into the Yamaha truck with Chad Reed.
Oh, yeah.
We were just rolling in there.
No question.
And that there was that weekend as well where I think Wyndham took out Vilman, and then Vilman's in the Smith truck, and you're like, "What happened last week, kid?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Wyndham," and it's still like.
And I used to spend half my days in the Kawasaki rig sitting with James.
Yeah.
Because he's so shy. He used to be upstairs, and I'd be upstairs in Ezra's locker doing his goggles. And there's James Stewart, gear everywhere, all over the floor, shit like a shithole. I'm talking about girls. He don't want to talk about racing. And this is when he was on 125. I mean, this is his heyday. He's a lovely kid,
Yeah.
but quite shy.
I think one of the best things I think about being part of Moto Magazine at the time was very quickly it's the kind of status that it gained.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And also quite a lot of respect from other people in the industry pretty quickly, particularly stateside, because obviously it's
Yeah,
a British
really
magazine
did, yeah.
out of a, let's be honest, like the HQ down in Dorchester was, well, it's like an industrial unit, wasn't it?
Just
like
a
it
little
was-
unit on an industrial
Yeah.
estate. But
But
I
in
remember
no
the
time
best,
at all,
the best-
there's the credibility actually. All of a sudden you had, journalists and photographers in America like talking
Oh,
about it
wanted
and
it.
congratulating
Yeah.
all of us on like doing a good job with that. And that felt, as much as you also want it from the UK to get it from
Yeah,
coming from stateside.
we took obviously the 4130 had their own titles and they had their own look, and they do look similar to that. But I was always pushing towards inside motocross. There's only 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Axo did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but
Jim
somebody.
wasn't it?
But then about a year into moto, I was on the phone to Sean Norfolk, who was a Renthal guy in the States at the time.
Yeah.
And he was in the office of the guy who did Inside Motocross, who owned Axo and Mechanics Wear. And he was looking through the magazine, and he said to Sean, "That's what I wanted Inside Motocross to be."
Oh wow.
And Sean gives it, "I better bring Wobble and tell him." And he rang me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take that."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
I always remember one of the British Championship rounds. Ray Archer came over to me. Miserable.
Well, I got heat from all those for not using the established
Yeah.
I
photographers.
wish you
'cause
could have seen the look on Charlie's face when you
That's
said
who everybody used. They used Alec Hodgkins. There was only probably 4 photographers.
Yeah.
And everybody used it. And I'm like, no offense, I think you do great work, but we need to have a different look.
I like Ray.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, he's a
we,
lovely
all,
kid.
we all love Ray, but
Oh,
you
so
can't deny he's a miserable.
He's done it a long time, kid. It gets you that way.
But no, but basically what he said, because he was sort of like going through the magazine, he was like, I love all this, all you new photographers and doing all these fancy shots. He said, but I can't work like that. I've got to get that shot, that angle, all the sponsors. It's got to go off tonight
Yeah.
to the press. I need to tick the boxes
Yeah, doing the
and
corporate
get
stuff.
fucking paid.
Yeah.
He said, I'd love to do all this,
Yeah.
but he said,
Yeah,
I won't earn any money.
What I was a steep learning curve as editor was I was looking at the pictures and I'm like, he's not even in the middle. And you're like, what you have to realise when you're doing
Classic,
when you're
Rob. That's
doing a
brilliant.
magazine
Now
spread.
listen, if I'm going to take a bloody picture and I'm going to pay you, I want him at least in the middle.
That's what it's for. Otherwise, what do you want all the side of that van for? You got the rider here and half the truck going up here. Well, that's where all the text goes on the page.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. And then you'll take a specific picture for the contents page and a specific front cover shot. And it was like,
So bearing in mind...
There's a lot of we used a lot of full bleed pictures, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
What's
stuff
that?
like
bleed?
that. Full bleed is when you just
Pretty
take
much
it
that,
to
apart
the
from
edge, yeah, and you
Oh.
you don't.
Well, bear
I
in
wasn't
mind,
listening to
didn't
that
have
meeting.
didn't have a Scooby-Doo, what we was doing.
oh, no,
Pretty
we were winging it. When they say winging it,
That's...
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
winging it, kid.
Yeah. Look at that.
I think there was enough
Credit where
experience
credit's due
though.
for Tim and Justin.
Yeah.
Because we were out there getting the content. They made it look like that.
Yeah.
Because we didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
We got the content, so give them something to work with. But without them too, that thing would have been shit.
There was a lot of creative influence on it. I remember our production meetings. Like, Jesus Christ, didn't they ever go on? Like
TGI Fridays. In
we
High
go,
Wycombe.
yeah, either go there or we
High
go to a pub.
Wycombe.
I remember having one production meeting and Tim and Blissy started to go at it. You know, a difference of creative opinion. Mate, the barman in the end, like he let us stay on for like another hour or so, and I was like, I've got to go home. Like they were still at it.
But the thing is, I'd worked for DBR and whatever, and they never had any meetings. But that's you just got told what to do.
Yeah, but the beauty of those meetings where we all got together and we all thrashed it out, because we never always did get on, like regards of opinion, is all that passion and that actually flooded out onto the pages.
Well, we all had the same end goal. We all wanted it to be the best it could possibly be.
Yeah.
We did care. Whereas, you work for DBR, you get said, well, we need 4 pages, we need 1,000 words.
Yeah. And
you go and do your bit, and that's what you do. And that's fine. But this was like, well, it's free reign. If you can come up with the ideas we were coming up with to speak to, who's got... It's same with this podcast. You've got to speak to the right people to get content.
I say about this as well, I don't know, you're the same, Tom, you would have been, I'm sure, as a photographer. Certainly when I was writing, and I still write, obviously, when, you get a brief of, like you say, 2,000 words, whatever. Now, my style back then when I was writing was be like, I'd go to an event, digest it all in, take a few notes on my phone, no more than that, give it a bit of time, think about it, go home, open a bottle of red wine, get at least halfway through that bottle of red wine before I'd start writing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one bottle would lead to 2. I'm making it sound like I'm a raging alcoholic. And then it would just flow brilliantly. Great. And I'd go to bed. I'd go to bed with with a bit of a headache. Come up next morning. Oh dear. 2,000 words was the brief.
Yeah.
Somehow I got to trim 6,000 words off of this because you just but that's the creative side of it, and it's the same with photography.
Exactly the same.
Because you just digital photography in particular, different when you was back in the day, like you say, with film.
I remember. I'm not butting it. I am, but I'm butting. I remember we were in a press conference at Anaheim or Phoenix or somewhere, and there's all these guys taking pictures, and then you could hear Blissy taking pictures. And then the film rewinding in the camera.
He's going...
and you can see every photographer going, who the fuck's using film?
Yeah.
And they just look around, and there's him at the back looking like Jarvis Cocker.
Yeah. That one
taking the best pictures.
Yeah. I remember him doing the one where it was just pissed down. I think it was the one where Reedy won it, I think it was. And Blissy was out in the field, and he got some mega photos.
He did that one picture, and they cropped it so that the steam coming off the brake was going up the whole page. It was mega. Yeah. When I saw that on... I'm like, that's ace. We have to use that one.
The quick Paul Bliss story, I might have said this before on this podcast, so apologies if I have, was when we went to Sweden and he was tired by the flight, because it's a long flight to Sweden. And so it's gate drop for the first MX2 moto. And he actually went into the inside of the first corner, and he's like, and he kind of had this, again, he had brogues on.
Yeah.
Udavella, which is like an old gravel pit, and it was a bit snotty. It wasn't exactly dry. Yeah, and he had a nap. he actually put his bag down and curled up on the floor like a dead dog, and had a little nap. And he was sleeping as they woke him up as they come round the first corner. And somebody took a picture of him somewhere. He was actually
fun with Tom.
Like, whatever, no rush to get it.
Oh my God.
Never
Brilliant.
thought, when I first met him, I'm like, I am not going to get on with this guy.
Yeah.
But what a legend of a bloke. So much fun. So much fun. But going back to the magazine, the best advice I ever had was Davey Coombs from Racer X said to me, write a story as if you're telling somebody a story in a bar.
Yeah.
He said, if you can do that, you've cracked it.
Well, that's the emphasis of this very podcast.
Basically,
which actually, I want to reiterate that for people watching. This is very much the style that we like to do this. It's not.
Well, we don't go into it.
We get guests in, but we
don't go into it with a list of questions.
It's all about you, Tom.
Like you don't go into a pub with a list of conversation topics, do you?
No.
You just start, and then that's where it ends up. Before you know it, you're like, oh shit, we've done it.
Yeah, we don't sit here with a bunch of questions we're staring at down here.
No, but the magazine, I'm proud of it. And I burnt out of it. I couldn't. I just ran out of ideas. I only got so many, and I just could not keep coming up with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some great issues.
Yeah.
Just park it there, go out on top sort of thing,
Yeah, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. The funniest caption I've ever seen was Dave Shaler sat on a bike stand with a wheel next to him, and you put the caption, I want that one.
Oh, me? I thought you were talking to him.
The funniest
Yeah,
thing.
sorry. Yes, it was. It was Little Britain, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's not many times you laugh out loud looking at it, and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant.
I actually can remember writing that, and then and as we proofread it, and I think, is he going to take? Should I warn him? It probably won't have the same effect if I do.
scream.
Though I was a bit nervous about that, but he took it well.
Because believe it or not, we wouldn't see it till everybody else see it.
No.
Everybody else thinks you know what the fuck. We'd just
There
turn
was a
it in
little
and
quote
then
on
make
the
it look
spine,
good.
wasn't
There was quotes on
Yeah,
the
me and Tim
spine.
came up with them.
freaking glasses on, but yeah, there was some classics there as well.
Yeah, no.
There were some great ones in there. I think even my best mate Chip made it on there with that famous Vegas trip that we had. I've never seen this man before in my life. That was something else.
Was that on the taxi driver?
Yeah,
Took us
those road trips.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. So, I mean, from your standpoint, at that point in your career, you must have been pretty good at that point, riding. You felt like you had a good little riding career. And then did you feel like that was the start of something when you fell into the photography? What was taking precedent at that
But you weren't
point?
just
Was it the photography or was it the helmets?
You'd write as well. It wasn't. You were doing the whole thing. You were
That's what I'm
sent.
saying.
Yeah,
you were sent to cover a race. You were photography and
Yeah.
you were doing the whole thing. You weren't just photographer.
Yeah,
and we
I
had to
was
send somebody to do the text.
Doing the whole lot. That was my weekend hustle. That was, you
Yeah.
know, I was still painting during the week.
So you were still, yeah.
Yeah. Never stopped painting. That was just, that's like the dream. You know, helmet painting's the dream job for me.
Yeah, but it's got to pay.
And then
that.
this was like another dream job.
Was
Like
that
on
your
the
only job though?
Yeah.
As in the painting?
Yeah.
I know you're doing stuff for Moto at the weekends.
Yeah, that was
Fair
my
play.
only job.
Yeah.
And that was just an opportunity to be a photographer for a new magazine. Loved the style which we were going to go down. It was like double bubble.
and with the production meetings, you actually got to say.
And then
You didn't just get told what you're doing.
went
You
to the
actually got to
production
say
meetings.
what we need to do is.
went to America, got all access via WOBs. It was just like the best. We went to Troy Lee's, we went to
Went
FMF, we went to
everywhere,
the Pastrana. You know, remember Finbar testing Pastranas?
Oh God, he looked like a deer in the headlights riding that thing, didn't he?
He was himself, right? And it was Ed Brown, he was there. He's just going
Who
in
were
that
that?
second gear flat out. son.
Yeah, that's
And
it,
he's
the
like,
whips. And he's
I'm
like,
not
oh.
in that. It's like this, wasn't it? It was horrific.
But we roll up to the Suzuki test track. We got the key to the gate.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're at the Suzuki test track with Finn with a full factory RM250 and Leroy, and we were like, "Go on then."
Yeah.
And he just looked terrified, bless him.
But that was, how cool was that? It was so cool.
Well, the first episode, we got full test on Tedesco's first circuit park. You just don't see that, do you?
yeah.
No, you didn't at the time. Not at all. You still don't see it now really much,
No.
do you?
And when we got there, Dave Osterman, who's the team manager, showed up with the bike, and he's like, "You got 17 minutes to ride it." What? He said, "When that clock gets to whatever it was, 40 minutes, we're turning it off." Oh, well, what if we haven't got these? You got what you got at that point. That's what you're riding it. And they bought us a stock bike, and Finn did a few laps on this stock KXF 250. Then he got on Tedesco's race bike, and I remember him come past me the first time, and he just shouting, "This is cheating!" And the thing just sounded so, and it was a full race bike straight from the track.
Yeah.
Like I say, we had 17 odd minutes to get the pictures in, and that's when I was saying to Blissy, "You'd better start snapping, kid, because that's all we got. You can take statics after,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It was, mega.
So you said that obviously Troy Lee is the pinnacle for you regards of helmet design, spraying. What about, I know this could be ambiguous, there's so many of them, but what photography, was there any one particular influence or somebody's style that stands out for you? I mean, you know, there's loads of obviously great photographers in motocross, but
there's a lot more.
even maybe before your time, what I meant, like
No,
growing up.
like
There's a lot more now.
fucking
Back in the day, there was not. It was
was
hard to
Cudby.
get a pass. You couldn't.
It'd be Cudby, Garth
Yeah,
Mann,
yeah.
them boys. You
Yeah.
know, their photos were wicked.
Chris Hiltner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just some classic photos.
really
you look back
good
at them
stuff.
now. So, yeah.
We
and-
obviously...
Fran Kuhn took some good
Yes,
stuff.
he did. You know, with the connection that you had in America, Wobbs and people, but I remember we had a fair amount of American photographers contributing to the magazine
Yeah.
of names of note. And when those files would come in and we'd have to like start going through them, I lost so much time.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
Everyone, you're
like,
that's mint,
I
that's
was like,
mint.
I know we had to rattle through things to do, and I'd be like, get a coffee in the office, and I'd just be sort of flicking things again. I remember like Garth
all
sent
ace.
one in of a Red Bull thing out in the dunes. I can't remember what it even was, doing like a whip in the gym. I was just like, that is so rad.
I mean, yeah, I got
Because photography.
I got so many photos.
Yeah.
Like, and then Toby found a whole bunch like during lockdown and stuff like that. And I'm going through them, I've got boxes and boxes of them. Then the missus finds them. She's going, do we need that many photos? Like, a bike's a bike, innit? I get out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need 15 Chanel handbags? You don't, right?
No,
So just
exactly.
Great
One pair
counter
of
argument,
shoes.
piss off. I can have my photos.
Yeah.
You can have your bags. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same as our flat in our house, like shoes. It's like a mosque in our bed.
Don't even go down. Don't go down the shoes road.
But the photography, for me, listen, digital technology, videos, what people are producing now, you know, the documentaries and the podcasts are brilliant. But I don't know, there's just something about, and this is life in general. Photography is just something that takes you somewhere else than a video memory.
Yeah.
I think.
It's the old...
You know, like, and that's why, again, like, this is not a sales pitch for what we did at Moto, but I'm going to say it. This is why when I pick up this and look back.
Still proud of it.
Yeah. But the photography alone,
true.
let alone the stories
is,
and
like-
stuff that we did.
And now there's so many more opportunities for people to get into it because you don't even need to buy. I remember we used to laugh at people taking pictures with their phones. Look at them, matey, asking for a press pass. But now you can take quality pictures with your phone.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, it sounds like I'm doing a sales pitch and I'm really
I know.
bigging
What's
it up
that
here. But
picture
I've literally
with
just turned
Townley?
the page on this now. Obviously, people listening to this won't see it. So if you're listening to driving in your car, whatever you're doing. But now I've just picked up the same magazine. I've turned to another page. And I hold it up for those people that are watching on. There you go. So that's something that we set up. That was Townley and Coppins when they were living together in
So that
Lommel.
episode's got that.
Took them to the laundrette.
And took a picture.
It's brilliant.
But that's got Ryan Hughes in it. Did I see the Pastrana picture in that? Is that a Pastrana interview as well on that one?
I don't know.
When he was
I have to
playing
go
mini
through
golf
them.
in his bedroom.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
But,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
photography.
That's 4 or 5 heavy hitting. Yeah,
There it is. Yeah.
nobody's fool. I had to wake him up. His dad. I had to ring his dad, giving it. He didn't answer the door.
There you go. It was cool times, Tom, wasn't it?
It was
Mega.
cool times.
Like,
So good.
You know, so career-wise, as in your actual racing career and then leading through, I mean, it all worked out pretty good, really. You know, considering that you admitted earlier on in this that you never had this ambition to be like, I'm going to be that guy, I'm going to be a pro racer, I'm going to be world champion, all that. And,
Yeah.
and,
Well, like I
and
say,
the path
hanging-
that it's led you on, you're so heavily engrossed in the industry still.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I gave up racing. I think I was 32. Came back, did like little 1-2 races like that. People always ask me, do you miss it? Do you want to get back on a bike? I'm going, why would I want to do that? Like, so many people trying to launch a bike at me to go and do vet donations or Farley Castle back in the day. It was hard enough when I was 20 years old, training with Thorpe and Dickie
Yeah.
Dye, and I was fit as a butcher's dog. That now, 51 years old. I don't need to be doing that shit. And I remember going down to Farley Castle the first time I went down there, and I rode the Harleys down there, went with Stace and stuff, and Stace, old man. And then got down there, first person I bump into, Kevin Reed, arm in a sling, busted shoulder. Oh, mate, what's up? Throttle stuck up the hill, KX 500, fuck my shoulder. That's out of work 6 weeks. He's a roofer, so that's like, okay, don't need to be doing that.
No.
And look at Swordy. When he went to the moon, throttle stuck open and went to the moon. I'm like, I do not need to be doing that. I've got to get up in the morning
That's the
and work.
trouble. That is the trouble.
I'm going to have to bring Batesy into at this point.
Batesy,
I I want your opinion, like, because a couple of times he's done it.
Fox
So
Hills,
got Fox and Farley.
and Farley, yeah.
Can't
Ended
give it
up,
up, can
ended
he?
up in the ditch.
Can't
Ended
stop,
up
can he?
and
At Farley?
going home in the back of an ambulance. Yeah, so I don't need to be doing that. Fox Hills himself.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
I'm
you're on
saying.
about, yeah. And he did it at Farley.
He did it at Farley and Foxhill, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we just watched that. We
I
were
brought
all
that up because I
watching
know
him.
you'd want to make sure that you get that in. Actually, I did, actually, so maybe I'm responsible
Yeah,
for
I mean, I didn't want to mention it, but now you brought it up, Jeff. Yeah, we watched that, slow motion as it was going somewhere. It was down that hill and he ended up in a gig of weed, hit this hole that the digger had made, cartwheeled over, and then broke his ankle, broke his foot.
I made a joke with him that morning when I saw him. I said, "What are you doing? Can't believe you're out there."
And we're
And
still
I said
trying to
to
get
him,
him to
I
go
said,
back.
"You know what happened last time at Farley?" He went, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
Walked back through the pits.
There you are.
45 minutes later, There he
Not
was.
that our vintage races are dangerous, you understand?
No.
No, but the trouble is, with Fox Hill, as great as it is, it's competitive, isn't it? It is like you're at the sharp end of that, and that's where like RV don't want to race the main race because it's just you don't want to put the effort in. You can go that speed, but you don't want to put 4 months in to get. And your brain's telling you to go fast, and your body don't keep
sugarcoat it,
up.
Wobbs. It's not your event or anybody else's event. It's
He
the
said on
sport.
a-
It's the sport.
As you
It's
get
like
older,
as
your
you get older,
reactions- your
it's nothing to do
reactions
with
are
the
not-
event you're
When
riding
you
at.
said you were going to go down and do it, you know, it was going to Fox Hills. I was like, fuck, that is going to be carnage because that place is
Oh, dangerous! Yeah, you better be on the game.
dangerous. Seen plenty of people get carted away from there.
But we've brought
But
it
it's-
into newer bikes, so they're more capable. You wouldn't want to be riding twin shocks on there.
That's what I'm saying. And it is, to be honest, it's a mega event. And bearing in mind how dangerous it is, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, totally sugarcoating the sport. Everybody that swings their leg over a bike knows the risks. It's
course
not
they
the
do, yeah.
venue. It's not the. Everybody, you don't have to sign a disclaimer. If you're racing motocross, you are going out on that track knowing the risks.
Or even
So
testing them.
It's nothing to do with all that. Yeah.
No names mentioned.
What was that?
Even test riding them.
Oh yeah.
Dangerous.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
just in a field.
Things can happen.
Yeah, so that's that's pretty much the career side of it on the motor.
Well-
the motocross, but
Well,
I'm
that's
not,
just
I've
the
got
start
no
of it,
interest.
kid.
I'm still so heavily involved in the sport.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is what we will talk about in the next episode.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we should
takes us
pretty
to
much park it up there and hold that thought for the second episode. Wobbs, is there anything at this point? Have you got any news? I'm not sure when we're actually going out on this, but when anything regards to the VMXDN that we should know about?
I don't know. Charlene's written some on the
Oh,
board.
she
and
written about.
I
Are you
can't
allowed to
read it.
say? You can't read it. I'll read it for you. I'll give you a little nudge.
Go on, because I just a
A
squiggle for me.
real top level, an announcement of a real top level French rider. That should remind you of. Can you not read that from here?
Porcel.
Well done. Go
Yeah,
on.
we've got Chris Porcel coming.
Yeah.
And he is
Nice.
proper top level. And what's like about Chris is he's got his own 2001 KX250, which he's got it all set up nice.
Mint.
So he said, "Can I work under your tent?" And I'm like, "Of course you can." I mean, I worked with Chris when he won the World Championship, and he is pretty French. He's hard work. But I think as he's gotten older, I think he's gotten much more. They do, the French people. Hey, I used to hang out with Pichon a lot, kid. I know what French people are
Rob
like.
Trump here.
He's pretty
Very-
French.
Well, it's a good description.
Diplomacy
It's not
way,
a bad
yeah.
word.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
But you understand exactly what I mean when I say it.
That's true. Actually, we all did, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. You're not
So we're to
questioning
blame.
what does that mean.
We're equally to blame.
But no, Chris is coming. He's excited. Tom is looking forward to racing him if Tommy races.
And I don't, like I said, I'm not exactly sure when this is going out, but this just recently, only as yesterday,
Yeah.
another rider that's going to be at your event now. Three-time the 2K
2K
back-to-back
champion.
winner, Todd Kellett. I can see his name's up on the board.
I think we should be dumping some sand on it. Just to-
I don't think you need to. I
to
mean, he
level the playing
absolutely
field.
ripped it in his class
He
last
did.
year.
He loves it,
was
doesn't he? He absolutely
he's
loves it.
banging bars with Villapoto and Brownie and all them. Like he was
I know.
absolutely
Good racing.
flying
that.
last
yeah,
year.
that was
wasn't he?
Yeah.
quality racing.
Do you know what?
Todd's got the spirit of it. He enjoys it. He's there for fun.
Yeah.
He's going to race and he's going to have a good time.
He's a racer, out and out racer.
Yeah.
That kid, he's not a kid anymore. I still call him a kid because obviously that's from my first memory of him when he come and rode for my team and everything like that. But he was, he's just an animal.
Yeah.
He
I'll
is
tell
just
you
a
who else is coming.
born gritty racer. Nothing will. He's like the Terminator. He just keeps going
Yeah.
and going and going and going. Charlie's like really concerned now that you're going to drop a name.
Oh, Pierre Paget, you remember him?
Of course I do. I used to race against him.
Yeah, Pierre's bringing a team.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
He's a fun lad.
He's a big influencer in France.
Yeah.
Big internet guy
Yeah.
in France. So he's come in.
That's awesome.
And he's throwing out some names. I mean, nobody signed up yet, but he's
tell you
like,
what.
I'm speaking to this guy. I'm speaking to that guy.
I'm glad he's coming. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he's up for it. Matt
Cool.
Nearly came last year, but he had a couple of people back out. This year, he's like, no, we're coming.
I always
so
had
he's
a.
booked in. So Pierre's coming with two French hitters. Like, it's going to be,
Nice.
yeah, it's going to be impressive to see. And of course, we got a lot of the same people coming back. I don't want to destroy our PR
Department.
schedule and then just like splurge everything that's going on. But we got some good stuff happening. It's exciting.
I'm sure we'll announce more of them as we go on, obviously, with more podcasts leading up to it. So
Yeah.
we'll park it up there. Thanks for listening and watching. We're going to come back with another episode with Tom. Talk more about that crash helmet designs, the whole process, and all that kind of stuff.
like
so,
and subscribe.
Yep. please do. If you've got any, if you need to get hold of us, info torqmoto@gmail.com, or obviously just drop us a message on Instagram or Facebook and all those other good things. Right. We're going to take a little breather. We'll be back with the next episode with Tom pretty soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.